How we doing? Hello, psychic spiritual CEOs. I see a couple of you with blazers on. I'm wearing my little new linen suit today, matching pants. It's good to see you all. Lauren, you were able to make it today. Hi, Lauren. Okay, I'm just letting the last couple people in. I'll leave the view like this for now so I can see you all. Um, but when we get into screen sharing, obviously we'll be looking at the roast. May the roast be with you all. Who said that in the chat? Who was it? Miriam? Sonia said, may the roast be on fire for all of you. And then Miriam said, I thought you were going to say, may the roast be with you. And I was like, and with you. Hilarious. Oh, I like your headdress there, Jennifer. That's beautiful. All right, y'all. So we're just getting started. Let me get my right windows up here. I thought we'd kick off today. Everyone knows who I am by now, so we don't have to do that part. Get right into it. Really excited. Everyone who posted, I have you. So let me give you a list of who, I don't know how many of you all get to today. That's why I'm going to chat at you a little bit before we start so that we can streamline and hopefully do as much as we can. But I want to tell you who I have content for that you posted somewhere. And if you're not on this list, get into the chat and let me know if there's something you want me to roast. And then we'll do this by fastest finger. Go. Hit the reaction button on the bottom. Raise your hand if you know how to do that. And hopefully that'll get you in the queue here, and I will start to, deal with that as well as fast as I can. Rachel's got a heart, but I don't think the heart stays. You got to raise your hand, I think. Okay. And real quick, let me tell you who I have. I have Liliana's info. I have Jennifer P's info. I have Lisa's info. I have Lauren's info. I have Annie's info. I have Sunny's info. I have Rachel's info. I have Sonia's info, and I have Miriam's info. If there's anybody, Margot, I see that you're here. Lindsay, I see that you're here. Carolyn, I see you're here. I don't think I have info for you guys. So if you're brave and you want to roast, okay, Sunny, no problem. We'll see you in a sec. So if you want to drop anything in the chat, you can go ahead and drop it in the chat. I'm going to go over, like I said, a couple of things that will help us streamline this process. I'm going to talk to you kind of about like the angle that, I mean, this will educate you also on the Rich Intuition Society and basically like what we do in there. But really what I want to tell you is like what lens I'm going to be auditing you through today so that you just kind of understand like a little bit of a bigger picture of like the why certain things may be pointed out and right context for like, you know, why this over that. Okay. So I've prepared just a couple things I want to tell you about. So these are really just values and assets. Obviously, our program is based around this because I'm the leader of it, and these are my values and basis of coaching and helping people. So many of you are here for lots of these reasons. Some of these reasons you might not have been aware, but you might think they sound good. Some of you might have one reason you're here, and that one's so deeply important that that's where we'll focus even for the whole year if we work together, but like especially here in the audit. So let me talk to you about a couple of things. First of all, things that are more monetary ROI. ROI means return on investment. Okay. So the things that are kind of more on the monetary side that we can be reviewing and ultimately if you wanted to work together on it. But one of the things is premium pricing. Okay. And premium pricing is not just slapping a price tag on something. It's actually when you build your business from a level of what we did yesterday and you're raising the container. Thank you for the container question, Lauren. But like if we're raising the value of the container, the stretch, the reach, the boundaries of the container, and what obviously is the energetic exchange going on in there, then premium pricing becomes something that really just explains the value of your work and the value of how you're leading your work and less about just charging something to charge it. I'm not usually somebody that'll say, just raise your prices to raise your prices. There's always like a reason or an exchange for that. And really what I'm doing when I'm helping you raise your prices, I'm actually helping you craft more of your leadership within those containers. So I might point out some stuff on pricing power and how premium pricing power can come into play with some of your offers. Also, there's such thing as offer clarity. When it comes to even before the copywriting or the marketing or the messaging or anything, having a clarity in your offer. One of the things that we can talk about when it comes to that is like having a master method or a unique solution, this kind of thing. I know Sonia's working with that right now with her Quantum Destiny method. That's going to be the name of her book. So this is something we can talk about. If it's relevant to you, I'll bring it up. But clarity in the offer is usually the delivery of your proprietary method, and done so in a way where certain touch points of your method are happening in certain offers, or there's one offer to rule them all where all of that's happening. And having a method or a signature process, this kind of thing, can offer a lot of clarity to your audience and you about what goes in that offer and what's the point of it. What is the A, and then the journey, and then the Z that you take them to, right? So offer clarity that converts is not just about converting and making sales. It's actually about very clearly understanding like what happens in that offer, right? So there we go. There's also sales. We can audit your sales processes for intuitive and spiritual entrepreneurs. You usually want to be more feeling magnetic. We definitely are not okay with manipulative. Like that's a deal breaker. It's an integrity deal breaker for all of us. I think some industries can slide by doing a little bit of that, but we can't, because in our soul, when we literally just can't get it out of our mouth to even do that. So it's not an option, obviously, but you might feel like that's the only way to sell, and it's not. We work on your magnetism a lot and aligned sales that feel good. Like you guys know, like I'm on this challenge, this 5-day event with you guys, and I'm not going to make you a big old pitch, but it's clear that I have a program, right? So it's not about saying, oh, let me take you to point A to point B. I don't know. It's more about sharing and serving, and then just letting people tune into the energy and feel like they get a strong resonance as to whether they want to continue a journey or not. It's not, if you guys have ever been on a sales call with me or anything like that, that was basically answering questions about my program, you know how I do it. I'm like, well, this would be a good fit. You want to do this together? Like that's how it works, right? So there are things in your sales processes on how you're trying to like get someone from in your audience into an offer that don't have to be what you think it might have to be. It's not. And so we work on the magnetism factor of like how you naturally just let people tune into you so that they answer their own yes or no. Okay. I do want to talk about, for some of you, reoccurring and scalable income. Some of you have offers and you've been doing them for a while. Lauren, I think we're going to talk about this with you, by the way. You have some offers that have their benefits, but a lot of your offers, as I've looked at them, Lauren, they're not like scalable. So there's going to be a couple of things that we talk about with you, Lauren. But for example, scalable means, is there a cap to how much I can do? And typically when we're in a time for money exchange only with our offers, we're not able to scale our business. So that means like, maybe more people, more money without more time, energy, sometimes investment on ads, yes, but you don't have to either. But it just means, does it have room to grow without a ceiling? Okay. Some of you guys might be interested when it comes to the scalable offers too, at getting some of your time and money back, right? And so that can come up. The messaging stuff is going to be focused on, and I want you guys thinking about what I'm saying here. I want you to be taking a couple notes, like what is the thing that's speaking to you? Because when I start pulling up your things, obviously, if we worked for a year, we'd get through all of this. But if we're just doing an audit, you might have to pick like something that you want me to focus on. Okay. So that's why I'm going over this, so you guys know like the lens. Okay. So the things that are messaging is, do I understand what my offer is based on that vision I saw yesterday, right? And the level of my leadership and whatever I learned about that. Do I know who the highest buying power audience segment is for that? And that's a fancy way of saying who has money in their hands and is like, shut up and take my money. Say less. Say less. I'm in. Say less, And this is not about necessarily who has the most money, even. And it's not even about, again, manipulation or anything. What this is about an offer to client match. And what we want to do is not have unfortunately, some of you may have had offer to client matches. I've had in the past too. But the problem is it's the wrong audience and it's the wrong offer, and that's why it matches. It's not your elevated higher level of leadership. It's not your elevated higher level offer. It's not your elevated higher level of client. So the prices won't be there either, right? So, okay. And then there's messaging that magnetizes. I say this thing called enlightened messaging in our program, and you can try and do some of this on your own. I'm not sure exactly how you would do it, get the exact same results we do. I'm sure there's a way, but like to understand your highest buying power audience segment, who is the match to your fancy high level offer, okay? That is like the one where you're doing the best work of your life, the one you want to sell the crap out of, right? Because it's just like, it's the meaning of your life. If you're not aware of what that target market, like that buying power audience segment right there, the one ready to buy, the one, because there's even a couple of stages before they're like, yes, 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 yes. But if you take that girl that's just right there at the yes, 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 and we know what she's saying in her head, we know what she's saying about her desires, her dreams, we know what she's saying about her frustrations and fears, which is desires are more like short term, dreams are long term, frustrations are short term, fears are long term, and they're the opposite of each other. My dream is this, I fear I'll never get it, right? But they have certain things that they say, mantras in their heads, and this is not things you have to guess at. Like with the right processes, you can actually acquire this information, and you create, whether it's sales copy or you train your chat GPT to ultimately know these things and then forever be able to use it. But like what you do is you say things that they're like, oh my gosh, are you reading my mind? Right. So that's messaging. And then that also goes into not just social media, but it goes into like offer copy. Sometimes in offers on your sales pages, I can look at it really easily and see if we're speaking to these frustrations, fears, or desires or dreams, or are we just listing the features of what's in our program? You notice right now I'm kind of double dipping here. We're doing the audits, but you're also kind of seeing my values and what we do in the program here. So I'm not telling you this program is titled this and it has 4 trainings and these are what the training's about. No, I'm telling you more about the things that are going to help you understand sort of the end result, right? And so sometimes on your copywriting, we're not using enough of this vocabulary and we're just kind of dumping features. We want to get away from that. If you feel that might be you, then that's what we should audit. Hands down, one of the first things we should audit. I might talk to you about audience refinement, like actually taking the audience that you have around you now and up leveling it to a different audience. Sorry to bring Lauren up again, but we've had conversations about this. So I know this is something in your world, Lauren. Like the audience you might have right now is not the highest buying power audience for the type of program you're capable of running over on the high end. So that might be an audience refinement situation, not necessarily sales, right? And then there's just confidence in your voice and vibe, right? Stop marketing to masses and start messaging to right where your target market is for the offer that really turns you on. Okay. The things that are celebrity and brand related, and I have a knack for PR, so I can talk to you guys about PR if that's where you're focused. I really, really love the iconic brand presence that really sells before you speak. And this goes into everything from brand design to just your vibes and values, and just really being really clear in who you are and what you are here to solve for people. And that comes out in a lot of different ways. And one of the ways can be that if your messaging is one thing, that's great, but it can be funneled into PR and into celebrity and brand presence so that your brand presence and your what am I trying to say? The reputation is already speaking before they're even in contact with you, like personally or watch a video or anything, right? Strategic PR that can, position you as an expert. These can be really, really great. In the Rich Intuition Society, we focus on features, interviews, press placements, uh, podcasts, things like that. And I've helped other groups that I've like posted and channeled into about stuff like that too. So it really is a lot easier than you think. We just want to, the thing is, we want to craft the audience perception with your premium positioning. And premium doesn't always have to mean, I'm not talking about just expensive. I'm talking about you being the go-to for that thing, like hands down. What else? Brand equity. Yeah. kind of long-term brand legacy. Here's some non-monetary ROIs, return on investments. Really, using your psychic edge as your secret weapon. Is this coming out? Is your lifestyle coming out in your brand? Is it appropriate for your intuitive lifestyle to be featured as part of your brand? For most of you, it probably would be a very, very positive thing. Some of you reached out to me and you said, I don't know what to post on social media. And so for some of you, the easiest thing to do will to be actually look at the things and values of your life that align with the type of business you want to build, because you're living a life before you built this business, some of you. And it's a lot easier to find the congruent things and start building a brand presence based on those things. Of course, in my work, I really, really care about the life matching the vibe of your business, like really embodying everything you're trying to manifest, the iconic identity shift, right? To feel like the baddie or like whoever it is that is the CEO of your business. And yeah. And then also, if any of you are building communities, we can take a look at like how that's running. And okay, so is that a good overview of the types of lens and things we can do here? I just noticed while I was looking at that people were trying to get in. So let me just let some people in. Hey y'all, sorry about that. If you just came in, it's because I was going over just a pre-chat of different things that explain the lens in which I'm auditing things today. So if you didn't catch that, I'm very sorry, but you can listen to it in the replay, which will be in the Facebook group, and we'll try to, make sure you understand the context of what your question is. Okay, so what I'm going to ask you guys to do, if it's not too much trouble here, this would really help. If someone is absolutely dying for an audit, you would throw yourself in front of this. You're welcome to at any time unmute and just be like, please, 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 like I'm here for your avocation. But otherwise, what I would do is I would go down to the reaction button on the bottom of your screen, and I would go to the react where it has a heart. There's a little arrow. You click that arrow, and then you put raise hand. Okay. You can also choose it to recognize your features. And if you go like this, see how it just raised my hand? So that's also an option. Okay. So what I'm going to do is take people that have hands raised first, and then I'll see as much of this I can get through as possible. We'll go as long as we can. And also, if you could keep your audits to kind of one primary focus, we'll start there. Okay. All right, Rachel, you got your hand up first, baby. Let's dive in. What is your most pressing question? And I do have your links that you gave me, so I'm going to pull up your Facebook page, right?
Awesome.
Yeah. So
Sorry, I was en route.
let me just pull this up. Okay, what's the biggest either bottleneck in your business right now, or your most primary goal that from your placement you feel like is the thing you're trying to nail right now?
I would like to, well, I'd like to just, I guess, get my message out in a way that is, I guess, get it out in a way that just like attracts more people to, and just like being able to communicate like what's happening and like the value of looking at this information for yourselves, for people, and I guess just coming to me and getting a reading. Like I want people to come get readings, and I want people to tune in to this like information that I feel like is like super helpful for people's lives.
Okay.
And
let me say this.
yeah.
If you've been in my coaching space, what's the question I always ask when we need to like start at the square one? What do you sell? So let's talk about that. What if you could sell the shit out of something right now and you would love delivering it and it would be so fiery and passionate for you and you would be doing the best work of your life? What are you selling now that is that, or what would you make a tweak to sell if it was that?
Astrology readings.
Okay, and tell me about the readings. How much, how long, what is the
Um,
positioning?
So I charge $80. It's an hour reading. It's usually over Zoom, and I record it and I send it to you that have the recording.
Okay, and
Um,
where are you getting clients from right now?
um, Usually it's word of mouth. A lot of times it's word of mouth. A lot of times it's local. Like I also go to different events and things where I like will have a table or a booth at like a wellness or spiritual, fair or, so I end up like showing up in person for things and then people, reach out to me and get a reading and then it's like someone who's had a reading to me and then it's a lot of word of mouth that happens too.
You said you had an
I guess
Instagram page too, right? Is it linked here
yeah.
somewhere?
It's actually kind of new and it might not be. I just mean, I guess maybe I don't have it linked to my Facebook. I have it linked as far as like when I post on Facebook, it also will post on my Instagram page. But
Okay,
I guess
so
I probably don't have it listed on that
no,
page,
that's
which I guess
okay.
I need
So
to
what
do.
we
So
want to do right here is in the intro section, like over here,
okay.
you want to get
Yeah.
into your page and you do want to add that as a link. Now, what I'm going to do is
Okay.
find you on Instagram real quick. So I want to get a feel for just like who you're talking to
Yeah.
and stuff. How do I find
Yeah.
you?
Um, I think just search Channel of Consciousness. It's like really new that I added Instagram.
There she is. Oh, is it? Yeah, this one's you. Okay, so you don't have any
Oh
posts.
wait. Oh shoot. Oh, it's not linking. Oh, okay. I guess I need to figure that out. Yeah, I like
Okay,
just did this like recently. So I guess it's not linked yet. I thought it was linked, so I'll have to figure that out. So.
okay. So just gonna spotlight us real quick. Okay, so how many readings are you selling a week, let's say, or a month?
I probably do a couple of readings a week.
A couple readings a week. Okay, how many would you like to do?
Yeah. Um, I would like to do, I mean, I'd like to do at least do a couple a day.
A couple a day. Okay.
Yeah.
How do you feel about your price point and what you're offering?
I feel like it's pretty good. I feel like 80 feels pretty good. Um, and I also want it to be, I don't want it to be so high that, people don't do it. I also have given people the option, which people actually never take this option, but I have given people the option if it feels like it's, hard for people to afford it. Like, okay, well, you could do 30 minutes for $40, which people usually don't do that. But I've done that for an events where I offer it for like, there's an event going on and I'll be like, okay, I'll do this, we'll do short readings, we'll do, but that usually gets people to like want to book a full reading. So that usually doesn't happen. But I feel like if 80 feels good to me for the exchange, I would say
Okay. What is
for
what
now.
is the what is the highest level return on investment from your perspective when someone invests and does an astrology reading with you? What do they get out of it that is of value? Can you give me like a succinct thing that you would say if someone asked you that question? Like from your experience of delivering these readings, like why is it the best thing in the universe? Like, tell me why you
Yeah.
dedicate your life to it. Like, what is the jewel that you hand people during these sessions?
Well, what people get is mainly validation. People get validated for their experiences in their lives and the things that have happened to them or what's happening or what they're wanting to happen to. Like it really helps people to tune in to their intuition because that's what astrology will do is it will kind of tune you into what your
Okay.
intuition already knows
Okay. So
and
let, let
then
let's
people are getting
let's
validated
let's give
by
you
that.
something quick and simple to start chewing on, okay?
Okay.
So in my experience, by the way, I just did an astrology reading with Rachel and I was like, no, I want 2 hours. So I'm like, I need 2 hours. And I will say that one of the things that I took away was validation. It's like you're not crazy. It's literally written in the stars and the cosmos and the universe. And let me show you right where it is. Exactly. It's right here. Right. So
Yeah.
validation, that's a really good point. Are you creating content awareness, not just of your offer, but of this return on investment? Because what I usually see at this stage, Rachel, is that people may know you have an astrology reading and they may know it's $80 even if they do. but they don't know what makes you unique or what your particular goal is when you go in to help somebody. And so what we're doing is they might probably, you guys remember how I said that, we tend to want to communicate things with features, like people will understand that or people will see the value in it. It's an easy rookie mistake, and it's not anything to be ashamed of or bad, but we want to move from like having just an awareness of features, like it's an hour for $80. I run your chart, right? And what we want to do is we want to create this high level understanding of what they're actually going to take away. So even if you just focused on validation and you became the queen of telling me how an astrology report has everything you're thinking and everything you've ever wanted is written somewhere in your stars, I'm going to tell you where and when, right? Like everything you post, and we're on the Facebook page that you shared with me, right? Let's go back to that. And what I'm seeing on this Facebook page is a couple of beautiful photos. I see some educational stuff about just what's going on in astrology, right? Excuse me for 1 second, you guys. Okay, sorry, the dog. Sorry, guys, hold on a sec. Sorry, you guys. Grandma forgets things, so she brought the dog in. Okay, so sorry about that. I had a fear that was going to happen at some point this week. Okay, so here we have just like some information about astrology, which is valuable, but it's like not like when I look at this post, for example, right here, this is great information, but it's not about me so much. Like the sun in Aries illuminating this part of your chart, ready to take a fiery new action. What fiery new action? Like what I think that you could do to shift is even just this one idea of validation. Okay. And maybe
No.
are you chat GPT savvy by any chance? She's got a dog too. It's the moment of puppies. Are you chat GPT savvy by any chance?
Sorry. Yes. Yes.
Okay, so what I would do is I would go to ChatGPT and I would say, when somebody wants an astrology reading to validate things in their life, what are the 10 things in their life that people seek astrology readings about? Okay, I guarantee it's going to be love life.
I mean, I know that. Yeah, I know the answer to
right,
that.
right.
Yeah,
So what we want to
yeah.
do is we want to make a post specifically aimed towards either one of those people or the same person with 10 different problems and really nail it, right? So what we want to do, and I know this is kind of hard, right? Because your post is like mentioning things, but it's not making it personal. Like if you were to write a post for Tana based on let's riff real quick. Give me a
Okay.
few sentences. If you were to write a post that was trying to draw me, you knew what my reading was about the other day, right?
Yeah.
And you're allowed to say it. If you were making a post and making, let's say, 2 or 3 sentences of a statement,
Okay.
and you were trying to get my attention to know what
Mm-hmm.
you could do for me, like what are some of the things you would say?
Okay. Oh, that's good. So I guess I would say that I would bring in the experience. If you've had an experience with, another person where you felt something very strong and very powerful, that was a connection with another person, and it was maybe hard to understand because the way that it was showing up in the physical world was maybe different than what your feelings are. And it might feel confusing, it might be hard to understand. Looking at astrology, looking at some of the planets and how they're influencing you, can actually help you understand and explain what that connection with another person might be, and what might be able to happen with that. And
Yeah, and what I would even say specifically is call out the exact same things. Like, okay, there's this guy, right? There's always a guy. tell me his birthday and I will tell you who the hell he is to you, right? Like you don't have to say it the way
Yeah,
Sam,
yeah,
but like
yeah.
you
That's
could,
good. Yeah, that's
you
good.
know,
Yeah.
you get specific, right? And then you could be like, you're up all night. Think about it. You guys, this is another really good thing to play around with. All of you guys who've been asking me any questions about content, okay? Think in terms of the five senses. If we were shooting a movie, what would we see you doing? Are you pacing around? Are you looking to see if he's texted you? Are you looking at old pictures? Like, think about, get in my head. And what I'm trying to say is like when working with me and having like access to like the higher like market research reports, we can actually get this verbiage and understand these things. But you might even be tuned into enough of it to just get started. You know what I mean? Like, because you understand me, you had a whole reading and you knew what to do, but that is not in your content. That's not in your content. And so what I want to know is that when you post. And I want to know, I want you to speak to a specific girl, me or any past clients, and I want you to think about exactly what came through and why they were obsessed, because your people are obsessed with you. But like, we need to know exactly what you did for them. And we need to know, like, illustrating for me their five senses. You're crying into your pillow because you think you're crazy. You're totally, dare I say, obsessed with thinking about a person. You're not crazy. It's written in the stars. I'm going to show you exactly where. And
Yeah.
if it's not, then let's figure out what is written in your stars and get you back on track, babe, or whatever, right? So
Yeah.
this is kind of what I want you to center into. And all of you guys take this advice as well. Think about the senses. Think about, what am I seeing the person do? What are they thinking? What are they afraid of? What are they short-term desire, but like long-term is their like dream? Like, what is it? And start talking directly to those people in the content. You can use these references that you used in that post, but it's not personal until you make it personal. And that's going to be the difference of your content attracting people. Now, I do believe that we should also be thinking about expanding your audience, perhaps, so that it doesn't have to be just word of mouth, because word of mouth is not giving you quite as many readings as you want. And so organically posting regularly will help with this, but also having such good posts that you're like, tag your friend if she's also obsessed with a guy. I'm just using that as an
Mm,
example because that was my reading. Okay. Like,
yeah.
by the way, your bestie also has something she needs to know. So you better send this to her, like
Yeah.
it doesn't
Yeah.
have to be that. That's just my interpretation. But do you understand what I'm saying about like, get in there with it?
Yeah, absolutely. That identifies the gap for me because I'm like people, I have my regulars, once people come, I'm like, I should have a subscription. People want to have readings like once a month. Like people want to have readings all the time. Once they have a reading with me, they realize how amazing it is. And I have these amazing reviews and stuff. But it's like so many people don't know. And so yeah, that's definitely
Yeah,
the gap of like wanting to communicate. Like
the other
it's
thing,
so good, you guys. Just come get a reading.
yeah, the other thing you could do, Rachel, and everybody listen to this too, you could alter your offer a little bit too to be a more robust offer. Like you could do like a chart reading in the front end and then up to one question a day virtually for 30
Mm,
days. So that if more things come up or you've been sitting with it, or you want to know like, how does this apply? You could just pull up that chart and
mhm.
send a 3-minute voice message and answer it. So that would put
Yeah.
people in a container for 30 days, and maybe that's not worth, if $80 is an hour, let's say it's a
Mhm.
$300 offer, a $400 offer to be, if you would have had
Mhm.
that offer, I would have bought it. I'm just saying.
Wow. Awesome.
If
Okay.
you would have had the offer to be able to ask you an additional question once a day, 5 days a week, or however you want to do the parameters, I would have
Mhm.
bought that. I bought more than you offered me. That's the point.
Yeah.
We're worried
Yeah.
about the people in our audience having only been able to pay certain things, but there are people, when you actually define what you can do, and it's no longer vague and it's no longer run of the mill or mass market, they know the hill
Mhm.
you'll die on, when they get
Mhm.
that, then they're
Mhm.
going to know they're a match and they'll want that from you. Okay. So that's
Okay.
another angle. Yes, get some more people into this reading, but also start considering if there's another offer that is just more of a good thing. Okay.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank
Okay.
you.
So we'll start there. You are welcome. All
Amazing.
right. Let me go back to removing my spotlight. So we have Miriam next. Hey, Miriam. Okay, what was and you guys, I can say a little extra today too. I don't know if you guys want, but I told you guys we could do up to 90 minutes on these calls, so I'll go 90 minutes today. Okay, Miriam, so let me just spotlight you and me. Where did I go? Where am I? I'm on the other side now. Okay, so I'm just pulling up based on our conversation today, what is your favorite thing you want to ask or get me to clue in on for you? Where are you bottlenecked?
I'm thinking two things, if you don't mind, on my website. Now, there are two pages that I just made like yesterday and the day before, so they're not perfect, but it
Okay.
would be really cool to get your thoughts on them. So if you go to, I can actually, should I just put the link in the chat? I gave you the
Nope,
link to the actual
I've
website.
got it. I've
Okay.
got it. I'm just pulling it up here and then I'll share it. And I'm not looking at your guys' comments or anything, but I promise I will before I hop off. Okay. All
Okay.
right. So what do you want to know?
So I just realized that I haven't got a link from the menu to the new pages yet because they're new.
Okay.
So if you can, after the
Yeah.
centermex.com, you put a slash
Yep.
and then write, let's start with the first one, channeled hyphen soul hyphen connection. I think that's what I called it. Yeah.
Okay, great. Okay, first things
What?
first. This title
Yeah.
is something that doesn't mean anything to me yet. They're words enough that I can understand, but we want to have. You guys heard of a hook? Do you know what a hook is? We
Yeah.
want to have like. Hear me out, you guys. It's okay. I'm gonna get Gordon Ramsay try to gentle as possible. They don't care yet. They don't care yet. And even if they don't not care, they still don't care. So what we have to do is we have to have the hook is not just a gimmicky thing. It's a way where people have a context for what you have them here for. So not just a context, here I have this offer, like you do, right? But hey, think about this. If your friend wanted to make a plan with you, they wouldn't just be like, you wouldn't pick up the phone and they're like, you know, uh, pizza, sushi, or steak, like maybe your best friend could do that. But like, what would happen? They'd pick up the phone and be like, hey, are you hungry? Do you have any time tonight? Do you want to get together? Okay, a silly metaphor, but couldn't come up with anything better on the spot. But what we want to do is we want to start and initiate this conversation at a place where they are at before we put the offer in their face. And it's not hard because we can right down here start talking about the offer, but we're not actually talking about, again, the features until maybe at the bottom, if we even do that at all. But we need to start the conversation to context what we're about to share with them. And when I say context, what I mean is make it personal. For example, we just talked to Rachel, right? We talked to Rachel about her astrology readings. And if she came out and said, Mars conjunct Jupiter, I don't know if that's a thing, but no one would know how to care about that. We're not the expert, right? So I know this is something that's like channeled soul connection healing. I should know what that is, but because the words make sense, but I don't care or know yet, right? So what I want is like a hook that says, let me read a little further. Maybe I can give you some advice about it. But do you ever feel quite not yourself? Regret some decisions you made, have done better? Okay, let's just take this line right here and make it a hook. You don't have to do this, but I'm just going to do this as an example.
Yep.
Stop regretting the decisions you've made, thinking you could have done better. I know who you really are, what your sole purpose is, and that's why you're here. Do you understand? Like something like that up here.
Uh-huh.
Do you understand? We want, and I love the button right here. Let's open the channel. Perfect. We should always have kind of a button by our header. That's a great idea. But we want to have this conversation, because we want them, you guys, we want our audience that comes to our page to get interested, even if they're not interested. And the way we get them interested is not by manipulation, it's by them clearly understanding why we're in front of them and what we have to offer them. So what we're actually seeking is not any type of manipulation or like cheesy hooks. We're trying to accomplish them fully understanding. And if we jump into the middle of the conversation and they're not the expert, we've already created a gap between where we're taking them and where they began looking at this page. Does that make sense? So conceptually, I want you guys to all think about this when it comes to your landing pages and your sales pages, okay? Is there anything in particular before I hijack the conversation that you wanted to ask me about this? Or is just
Well,
kind
that's a really good start. Because what happens is, like, this is an incredibly powerful kind of healing session. And so it's getting that across. It's like they're going to get a channeled drawing. The healing session is like an energy healing and a channel drawing. And the channel drawing they get sent after the reading is over with instructions how to use it. Pardon me?
That's a feature.
Yeah, with instructions how to use it. So to continue the healing journey once the healing session is over, and it's not cognitive, they can't think, they won't understand the drawing, they just have to let it do the work. But I tell them, I give them instructions on how. And then they will notice whatever problem I bring up, like I'll tell them specifically, what is the soul connection that's being blocked? Why are we doing a soul connection healing, right? It's because you're doing this, you need this. And then
Okay.
this is how you keep that work going.
You're doing this and you need this, that's really important. I want you to hang on to that frame of mind really closely. But when I love you guys so much. Please don't come at me. Don't be mad.
I'm getting roasted.
It's so easy to jump back into feature dumping. Like when we first started talking, you said you get this thing, I'm going to send it to you, and then you'll know what to do. That's all feature. I don't care yet because I don't know like what I'm going to get. I mean, do I really need a picture on my wall? I've got a shit ton of stuff on my wall. Do I really need that? Like help me understand the breakthrough, not the deliverable. And I know that's just it's a slight shift for you, but for them, it's a completely different experience coming into an awareness of your offer, right? So the other thing I want to mention here, you guys, again, right here, this is another space, like this whole section. I don't hate it, but it's not very visceral. And so what I would do is, first of all, you guys all should be trying some way. I mean, I do this in my programs when I work with people. I actually do have an offer that's just about the market research report. If you're interested in that, let me know. Or if you obviously want to work with me, let me know. Somehow figure out who is the target market audience for this offer. Who is this close, is searching the internet right now for an offer exactly like this, and they're just waiting to give their money to someone. Okay? Like when we figure out who that is, what are they saying in their heads? What are they experiencing? What are they tasting, seeing, smelling, saying, like saying to their friends, thinking at night when they're ashamed, right? Like what, like the actual words, like right here we have getting in your own way. What does that look like? Give me the example of your ideal person and what is in her way and how is she doing that, right? Or maybe it's not just a she, but like, for example, if we were talking, just because we've talked to Rachel before this, right? Let's imagine we're talking to Rachel and it's like she's trying to get me, right? What would be me getting in my own? Hold on, someone's not on mute. You guys check your mute buttons if you wouldn't mind. So like if Rachel was trying to use this to get me and it was getting in your own way, it's like, are you going back and forth trying to figure out if you're crazy or not, telling yourself things like, I must be making this up, and then on other days being like so committed to it that you're pretty sure you're going to bust out of the reality of the matrix because nothing is real if this isn't. Do you understand? So it's like visceral, right? It's like juicy. And and this comes a little more clearer when you know who your target market audience is, when you know who's the direct match for this offer. And obviously, first, if we had all the time in the world, I'd say, is this the offer that is the end all be all offer? That's where you want to start. But like, we want to create such an awareness that this doesn't sound like it could be on anybody's website. You guys, I'm so sorry to do this, but hear me out. Okay. How many of you, by a show of hands, could use all 4 of these statements on your website selling whatever you sell. Let me recite it. Do you ever feel not quite yourself? Maybe you regret some decisions you made and think you could have done better. You wonder who you are, what your real purpose is, and why you're here. You wonder why you're not living up to your real potential. By a show of hands, how many people could put that on their website as well? It's not enough. We have to know your person, and we have to know exactly what makes her different so that when she sees that, she says, she gets me. She understands me. She's got a camera in my room when I'm crying, or like she knows that my purpose that I want is to be A, B, and C. It's not just a message about purpose. Okay. So do you get what I mean by that? So we want to get more visceral, you guys. Get visceral. Ask yourself, this is the great way to do it. If I was directing a movie and I had to put something in the box, and there was not even just what they say, but an inner dialogue voiceover, and I was watching them and listening to the voiceover of the character that I'm trying to reach, explain everything that you see, because I'm not looking at the screen and you'd have to tell me your experience of the movie, right? Visceral, like try to get there, and then that'll help you with the specifics and know who you're trying to target. If you guys are ChatGPT savvy, get on ChatGPT, at least try it yourself, or hire someone, or buy a report, or work with me, or whatever, but like figure out your best offer based on what is the best work of your life. Figure out who the target market is that wants this offer and is ready to buy. Figure out what's in their head, and then create this or your posts for them. You understand? Is that helping a little bit?
Yes.
Okay, and then here we have, that's not so bad. Let's see. Okay, here's another one. Sorry, guys. How many
Why
of
are
you
you
guys,
sorry? This is
how
great.
how many of you guys, by a show of hands, could say, my sessions are designed to strengthen your connection to your highest self and unique voice, increasing self-trust, clarity, confidence, and effortless living? How many people could say something like that? Okay. What's different? And usually what's different is not just having to understand your uniqueness, but it's understanding the uniqueness of the person who's perfect for this offer. So it comes from both places. You can have it from an awareness of who you are as a leader, but it comes from an awareness of who is the perfect person for this offer and what's in their head, just as much as it is about your uniqueness. It's about the match of offer to audience. That's a unique relationship. Rachel will tell you, right, that every chart she's done, people probably have the same questions, but the relationships that she sees, they're unique. So what is the relationship between you and your client? And I know that it's hard, but like if you could go on your website and say a reader, a Reiki healer, and an intuitive coach could all say this statement, work on it. Okay. But
Yep.
there are a lot of good things about what's here. It's just a little bit of shifts. It's like you wouldn't even have to gut everything. I would just add or like reframe certain
Yep.
things, right?
Yep.
Like go deeper on certain
Yep.
things. So it's not even that any of this is bad. It's just I want it to go deeper. Love the pictures.
Thank you.
Yes. Okay, this is good. And then you had another question?
It's another page.
I'll
So
just
if you
glance at it
could
quickly.
write create hyphen your hyphen soulmate. Oh, that's weird that there's a box there. That's not.
Okay.
What?
Are you ready to create the relationship you really want? That's okay. I want it to be juicier. Like I have a client right now in my container. She's like all about, I think I talked about this. Did I talk about it yesterday? My little sexy lover girl client that's like honey dripping from the lips. She's so visceral, right? She if we were working on this headline for her, she'd say like, are you ready to create the spiciest honey dripping from your lips, obsessive
Yeah.
worship, amazing relationship of your life? Do you want him to completely melt in your arms, but be strong enough to hold you at your, like, do you see what I mean? Like this would be unique to her because when we say, are you ready to blank the blank? Like we're not digging quite deep enough. We're leaving an opportunity on the table. Okay.
Somebody in the comments has said, make it a statement and not a question. I disagree.
Make it a statement. To be honest, it can be either. I've seen either. It really is just based on who you're trying to, and sometimes I will say this, whether you do statements or questions, it's usually pretty intuitive because you, as your leadership in the container already, you will always have kind of a sense. The problem is you're just not going deep enough. So that's more the problem. So if you guys intuit a statement over a question, and go with that. If you intuit kind of to pose a question over a statement, that's okay. Like I don't see any technical reasons why that shouldn't be. So it should be just intuitive, but the depth is where most people kind of miss this. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll leave it at that. The only thing I will say on this page is this is all the same size font.
Yeah.
From a design perspective and a re-engaging the senses. Let me show you guys my website real quick. Not that you have to model it right after me, but it's the top of mind one that I know to look at. Okay, so this is a bit.
Yeah.
This is a bit. This is a bit. Even this section has 2 bits, right? We're re-engaging the senses. Let me skip over to this bit. We're re-engaging the senses after every taste.
Brilliant.
Right? So when we have something that looks like this, even if it's not as much content as I had on my page, by popping certain fonts out, like as a bigger or a bold or in some way italic or something, we break it up into bite-sized pieces so that we know if they're just curving the lines, we're going to help lead them with the right words to catch if they're going fast. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay, great. So we'll
Thank you.
leave that there. You are very welcome. All right, remove spotlight. Remove spotlight. Okay, Lauren, you're up.
Woohoo.
Woohoo. Okay, where's your biggest thing you want me to tune into for you?
Yeah, I think for me it's more about establishing myself as like a personality and authority. Like I have a really solid idea of my offers, and like my website right now is a little bit of a feature dump, but I know enough about kind of like asking these questions, and I use ChatGPT and basically I think I know kind of like what's wrong with like my mentorships right now, and I need to make that clear. I'm basically building a new website, so I was going to ask you about how to consolidate that and make it more clear, but I think I kind of know what to do. But I mean, feel free to speak to any of it. I think the question more is like, I want more reach, and I want like more collaborations, more podcast interviews, stuff like that. And I think right now I just kind of look like I'm here to provide a service, and I want to be like a personality essentially. And I see that on other people's sites.
Okay. First things first.
Mhm.
Where's your photo?
Do you have the right? Yes, you do. It's
Oh, there it is. It's really
Oh,
tiny right there. Where's your photo? Here's the thing, you guys. I know this feels uncomfortable to some because you don't want it to be like all about you or whatever, but like if your mission has any leaning into having a large reach, which many of us do because that's the cape that, the whole world really deserves to have your light, right? So like building celebrity and authority comes from a very particular brand presence. This, Lauren, my dear, is your biggest problem immediately. We see your name. I don't see your face. This is not a celebrity website. Now, I do like your things here. You're very present here. But, something like this thumbnail, it's not going to bring me to the thumbnail. It's going to bring me to the video. But yeah, that thumbnail, for example, let me give you some examples. Well, let me just go to mine real quick, just because that's top of mind. So is this a celebrity website or not?
Yes.
Am I aiming for a celebrity? Even Liliana's, yours is up too, right? We built yours a little bit more celebrity too. So Owls Vision Tarot. Is it .net? I forget. .net? .net. Okay. Owls Vision. howellsvisiontarot.net. Maybe it's not up. Anyways, I was trying to show you, let me just go to like, who else would I think? Gabby Bernstein, I never spell her name right. So let's go to her website. Hi, I'm Gabby. Okay. Let's go to Mel Robbins' website. She's got her book as a banner, but hi, I'm Mel, right?
Mhm.
Who else? I know I'm looking up personal development just because I know their website's top of mind.
Yeah. I'm trying to think.
Like, who is there? Here we go. Tony Robbins, right?
Yeah.
Who else? Sometimes I like Colette Baron Reed, but she changed her website. She had this beautiful website that I used to show people all the time.
I
And
really
she,
like Mia Magic also.
Mia Magic,
Yeah.
MIA, Mia.
Yeah. MIAMAGI. I think it's a K.
Yeah.
But-
Okay. Look it. Okay. You
Mhm.
see the difference? We're already looking at the authority. And I bet some of these people have logos too. Yep. Look, see? How do you get
Yeah.
those logos? You just start doing PR features and I can, share more about that with you guys. But like the vibe is totally different. Look, boom, there she is. There she is. There she is. There she is. It's not ego, you guys. It's the way for people to feel into you and to kind of put you in a place, not from a platform perspective to say that you're better than them. That's not what it is. It's a way to say, I can lead you. It's like you're in a group and they're like, okay, we got to do this. And you're like, I'll do it. That's what this is. So we, start looking at the differences and just literally pick it apart. Like literally this woman, she's got her picture, her name, and she's got a title. And I would even say that this title is actually not even all that authority building. Intuitive advisor is okay. International intuitive advisor would be one way of doing it. That I say international, and a lot of my clients thought that was fun. And so they say international too, because they are. You can say renowned, you can say YouTube sensation. My friend Linda that we build her stuff, she uses YouTube sensation. This little thing is kind of cool too. I like that she's got going on here, but like you get the point. And then right here, we've got about her. Why do we care about her brand? It's not her features, it's not her offers. Why do we care about her brand? Because we're coming to her for her. Okay. So start noticing how all of these people section out their websites, right? So we've got this banner that's really important, right? And then we've got this front and center. What is the value of my website? Like I would argue for each and every one of you, if we went to your website right now, what's at the top? What's at the top? And it could be a banner of some kind, but what's right underneath that? Whatever's right underneath that, they're going to value as the primary element that is the value of your brand. That why are they coming to you? It's that first conversation. It's like if you were to introduce yourself, let's go back to yours. I wanted to get out of that little section. And like you don't have it all that wrong, right? It's just a simple adjustment because look,
Yeah.
have you here. So it's not even that you've arranged it necessarily. It's just it has a different star quality. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
just the easiest thing I could tell you rather than just telling you 10 things is to just model because they know what they're doing and there's a reason they do it that way. It's to create a connection to you. You are the brand. It's not your offers that are good. I mean, I'm sure your offers are good, but it's not about like, why would we buy an offer for Tyler Henry versus someone who just started readings last week?
Yeah.
Could they be the same gifted? Yeah.
Yeah.
However,
Yeah.
why would they want Tyler Henry over the person that just started a week ago? Credibility, celebrity, trust, value, right? So their websites are going to usually look to fall in line with that, right?
Yeah.
I think I remember not liking Tyler Henry's website. Let's see if he's changed it. Where's his website? Tyler Henry, the medium. Let me see what he's doing. I'm not obsessed. I remembered that. But still, it's him, right?
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. So is there any other questions you would ask other than that about like how are your offers? Because I see that your offers are not, I mentioned this earlier, they're not like big offers. How are you feeling about
Yeah.
that?
Because like I'm offering readings and then I'm offering like mentorship. So I have like coaching courses and we have like a Patreon group and I basically give a lot of offers in that Patreon group. But I realized when I was sending it last night, I was like, this isn't even linked on my website. This is ridiculous. But I think my next step after I update my website is I really want to have like a premium for my students who love working with me and really want like kind of almost like what you're offering is like the
Yeah.
premium next level stuff.
Yeah. So what I would do is I would set up, I mean, have you ever done something like a 6 to 12 month container? Like an offer
No.
that goes 6 to 12 months?
No.
You could always beta test the price, but what would be the value of working with you for 6 months, like based on crunching the numbers of other offers that you have right now that are less time?
Yeah, I think that's it's the one-on-one support. Like I have my video courses and getting that 6 month, with me would be accountability. You have community, you have accountability, you have somebody to hold your hand, do one-on-one sessions with you. And so that's kind of like what I've been
Would you
thinking about.
would you not think about it as far as like a group offer where you come onto a Zoom like this and you do
Yeah,
a
I would do that too, like group calls. And I'm essentially doing that. I'm doing it already on Patreon, but I'm charging like $11 a month for it. And when I realized that, I was like, I think I'm doing it. I'm just doing it very cheaply.
Let me show you something. My Rich Intuition Society right now is the industry goes through little phases, and right now the industry is a little less spendy than it has been in the past, but that doesn't mean you can't like it. That's a nuance that you don't even need to worry about yet. But like, let me show
Okay.
you this offer. Okay, so I've got two versions of my offer. One is just the group coaching program. Okay.
Yeah.
What that means is you could have 6 months where you're just doing a weekly call with whoever's in the group program, right? And whether it's weekly or bi-weekly or whatever, like what do I have? I've got monthly virtual events, which are either trainings or something like this that they get, 4 1 hour Q&A calls, and then I do 2 2 hour psychic development mastermind calls,
Mhm.
and then access to all the content, right? And I
Yeah.
don't even go through the content here. It's just access to all the content, right? And then I have two versions of it, a paid in full and a monthly.
Mhm.
Okay. But I've got this thing, which is the same thing. The only difference is it includes a couple extra perks. And this one's called the mentorship. So I've
Yeah.
got two one-on-ones per month for high touch, right? I've got a VIP weekend where they're working with me kind of like in a 6 hour segment, 2 days in a row for like real acceleration, right?
Uh-huh.
And then they also get chat access to me on Telegram, which just basically means if you leave a message, I'm going to answer it.
Mhm.
Like within 24 hours. And that's just the whole year because mine's 12 months. But even if you experimented with a 3 month or a 6 month, you could do it something like this
Yeah.
where some people are coming in at the group for just the group calls. And it's not that this is less great. It depends on what the needs are of the client, right? If they need one-on-one or want one-on-one, then this is going to be a better value for them, clearly,
Mhm.
right? And
Yeah.
then if they don't need that, then they're going to be excited to have an option where they don't do one-on-one, right?
Yeah.
So something like this is very um it's structured in a way where it's tried, tested, and true that people find what they need in these elements. Does that make
Mhm.
sense?
Yeah,
And
yeah. I've signed up for several myself and I'm like, I think this is what I need to do next. I just need to kind of figure it out.
what part do you think you need to figure out? Like what are you getting hung up on?
Mostly just like, do I want to lock myself into something that maybe I would want to walk away from?
Good question. Good question.
Yeah.
We all are afraid of that when we start until
Mhm.
we realize that recurring revenue and working with
Yeah.
clients on a long-term basis is like worth a session. It's amazing.
Mhm.
So I'm sure there are people out there that were like, I tried it, didn't love it. But you could set a 3 month container and you could pull up your big girl pants for 3 months, couldn't you? 3
Yes,
months?
yeah.
Could you do it? Because
Yeah.
you're not going to know until you test it. And honestly, like this is much more scalable for your impact
Mhm.
than doing a bunch of one-on-ones or even just trying
Yeah.
to do this low $20 thing in Patreon or whatever you're doing, right?
Uh-huh.
Like put more into the offer, need to sell less, serve certain people higher, have the right value exchange for it, and your business is actually booming better. You're doing better work with clients, and the reoccurring revenue is something to get obsessed over versus having to resell something all the time.
Yeah,
It's a win-win for everything, and you're not going to figure it out until you take a stab at it. So my suggestion would be come up with a 3-month test pilot program.
Yeah.
Price it fair or have a founder's price, a beta price, and just try 3 months. And if you hate it, you hate it, but most of
Yeah.
us love it.
No, that's super helpful.
And the
Thank
other
you.
thing I'll also say, Lauren, is
Mhm.
like, let me show you my mentorship calendar real quick, just so you can see the flexibility that is built into it. Hold on, I'm just gonna go to Rich Intuition and take
And that's
everything.
you had said something about it being scalable. Is that kind of what you mean by that?
Yes, it
Okay.
means that you could bring in the group program as many people as you wanted, really up to a certain amount. Like, you could have anywhere between 2 or 3 people to 100 people in there, and really kind of the elements wouldn't change a super amount,
Yeah, yeah.
right? Like it would still kind of be the same experience, but then the mentorship you could cap and make it so that you only have a certain number of people. So I know this is grayed out, you guys. I'm sorry, but this is the month we're in. And we have 4 hot seat coaching calls. As you see, they're not at the same time. I put them where I want to put them.
Yeah.
Okay. And then we've got reading room calls that sometimes do just land on the Wednesdays. And then I've got other little things that I host, right? Throughout whatever. And so this is the calendar of next month. Look at that. There's nothing there. Why? Because I'm going to launch it in the next day or two, right? So I don't have to lock myself into, I've done this where I've done every Thursday, every Wednesday, something like that, right?
Yeah.
But like, it doesn't have to be that. And as a matter of fact, like you can totally rewrite the rules, right? Now I can go travel to any conferences. And if I know I'm going to be at one, I just stagger them, right?
Yeah.
So instead of doing once a week, I basically do 4 a week and 2 a week of the 2 different calls. And they don't even have to be this many. I know some people that just do, like here, I have a coach myself that I deal with. Here's what she does. Look what she does. She does mastermind days, which is just go send her a message on Voxer, right? And then she'll do a call on the opposite week. And then she'll do a couple of Voxer days. You know what Voxer is? It's just the walkie-talkie app. It's like a
Yeah.
message thread. And then she'll do a call. And so she just rotates every other week. And so she just kind of does 2 calls a month,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
So you can reinvent this any way you want to not lock you into something that feels so restricting, but you will
Yeah.
need to try it to see.
Mhm. Absolutely.
Yeah. I think it's the next step for you. I think you should.
Yeah. I mean, I've already been doing it on Patreon for the last 2 or 3 years. I show up, I'm consistent, and I'm still here. And so it's just doing it.
The other thing too is when you build this offer perhaps
Mhm.
from the level of like the vision that you had for yourself, it's probably going to be a bigger offer and attract a different kind of person that will
Yeah.
pay a different amount. So don't get discouraged if the current Patreon people who are paying $20 or whatever they are, I don't know.
Yeah.
Don't be discouraged if they're not the exact ones. You only need a few to get this started. So
Mhm.
you're gonna shake out the ones who are obsessed and ready to spend
Yeah.
some time with you. Like
Okay.
people in my Rich Intuition Society, we become best friends. Like Sonia's not on the call, but I see Sonia 3 times a week, and so we're always together, if not 4 times a week sometimes. So the point is like there are going to be some people in there who you don't need a lot of them, just a few, and then you'll scale from there, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Thank you, Tana.
You're welcome. I hope that helped. Okay. Liliana, let's go. How's it going, babe? That's
Doing pretty good. A little anxious.
all right. What are we going to look at today?
Oh, well, I put my website
Oh, great.
in the chat there. So
Let me find it.
I just recently got that back up, and long story short, I kind of went through a dark night of the soul, and everything just kind of crashed with my business and my life, and I had to kind of let things go a lot, and now I'm just coming back, and I feel like I've changed a lot, and I really don't know where to show up in
Mhm.
my business. I'm I can only really work on weekends right now with my business,
Yeah.
and I'm like what clients I have been getting like you know general questions, not even like my full offers, and for less amount, and
Liliana,
but generally like
could you put your link one more time?
oh
Because I
okay
don't know if it accidentally went to somebody in particular, but I don't see it in the main group.
okay let me see it, yeah, and I'll just finish to what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Generally, I just feel like my business has turned into a marriage where I don't feel turned on by it anymore.
I love that.
Yeah, so that's it. The only thing that's inspiring me right now is just an idea that, I would like to write more blog posts and draw audience with that,
Can I ask you a
writing
question?
more of what I've been channeling.
What would turn you on right now? If the universe was like, it's all good, it's all the same. What do you want? Do you have a sense of like what it would look like if it was turning you on?
Yeah, I mentioned that I would like to write more blog posts and what I've been channeling more into the divine feminine and what's coming in and more of my life experiences, and being known more for that than what I've known in the past. I've also been like uh, feeling into more of that less chase and more attract. And I want to be that known persona where I'm the best kept secret, if you know what I mean, where I can make a really big shift and get some high ticket clients, but I'm a little hush hush about it, and but still known about it. Kind of like a Barbara Streisand, you know what I mean? How Barbara Streisand has that big persona. She's known for her voice, but she's very secretive about her life.
Do you know what
That's the best way
Substack
to
is?
say it. What was that?
Or what? Do you know what Substack is?
No, I don't.
Everyone's freaking out about Substack. I'll do a little more research on this and get back to you. It's a Does anybody know about Substack? If you know about Substack, can you unmute yourself and tell us? Miriam, do you know? I haven't fooled around with it, but a lot of my peers are doing it and they're freaking out about it. Basically, it's a site that's like for publishing books, stories, blogs, something like this, and
Yeah.
people go there to read things. So it's not even just like a blog. It's like I don't know. And I think they have also where you can have like a brand and podcast, little website. Like I don't know. People are yes, Miriam, can you tell me
Yeah.
more?
It's really for people who are writing. They write. So like you say, they go there to read because people write, and it's considered like intellectual. You're going to go there and you're going to learn something. And they get into these
Mm.
conversations. It's pretty lively.
Yeah, it's like really on fire right now. So if you are already creating content that's written of any kind, like I know there's a girl that I know from Benicia. Let me see if she's got a website up. I don't know why I've never brought this up to you, Liliana. Let's just see what she's got. She's somebody who writes fiction and is also a tarot reader and was really popular on YouTube. Her name is Kirsten Langston, and author, intuitive, and auntie. She says, okay, let's look at her website. So she is both an author and an intuitive in her brand. Okay, so she's got a tag here for her reading stuff. Okay. The whole point of that was to just say that, like, when she puts herself out there with writing or with her own celebrity, she merges the two things. Now, I don't know. I know you write romance, and I know you're thinking about blogs, which could be more about business. But Miriam mentioned this. If you are someone who is, you guys check your mute button real quick. Okay. If you're someone who would be really turned on by people following you and getting obsessed through the best kept secret because of something you're writing, if writing feels good to you, it's actually all the rage right now on that platform. I'm not, you know me, I don't like to write very much, so I haven't like dove into it, but I've been following people that do that, that are readers and healers, and that's what they're doing. What else would turn you on? Like, if you could sell a bunch of things, what would you love to sell? Is it still your readings? Is it a version of a package that maybe is not main character quite anymore? Like, where would the money come from if you got to choose?
Coaching style, where learning divine feminine magnetism and also divine feminine archetypes with like goddess work. That's probably where I feel drawn to. Yeah, so those are the things that would be a drawn for me.
Okay. Listen, take it or leave it. We've talked about a lot of stuff, so I'm just going to go psychic ham on you, okay? I'm seeing like I said, take it or leave it. It's just a download. You could keep it or not. But I have to close my eyes to see it. I can see an offer where it's like awaken your goddess, and then there's like a ceremony of worship for her. Like almost like we have this reading, and then we choose her a name, and we talk about her powers, and we talk about her past lives, and we talk about her future lives, and we talk about all of her things, and we write her a welcome into the world. We write her a manifesto, and we like have this offer where it's not just a reading, but it's like an awakening of the goddess. And maybe you make a collage that's like all their stuff. It's like your goddess collage. And then you do this ceremony with them where either you're doing a video, and maybe even you're doing videos, and maybe you're posting these videos as content and actually making blogs about, I want to introduce you to goddess so-and-so, the whatever of the whatever, right? The collage. And then you burn a candle, or you do a ceremony, and you say, welcome goddess, like this is your time. And like, we're moving, and maybe you even do an activation of some kind. Like, do you see what I mean? Like the energy of that? That is just coming through so clearly and so strong. And so the value of this offer is not just the reading. The value of this offer, like I would buy the shit out of this. Like I'd be like, who's my goddess? What's my
I think
collage? Like,
I'm so turned on right now. I got chills and goosebumps and
yeah,
tears.
like a whole process that the return on investment is to literally birth the goddess, reemerge her into this timeline. So it's a past life, which I know you do. It's a future life, which I know you do. It's a goddess, divine feminine, which I know you do. It's intuitive based on her purpose, which I know you do. It's channeling of art, because she is art. To receive her is to receive art. And you already do that. And then ceremony is something you could easily love. And then if you had this all in a package where not only did you do this, but you prepared like all these sessions on Zoom, not only could you give them this whole ceremony for birthing their goddess that they can now keep, but you can even repurpose some of this content into social content and actually write a blog post about each goddess you awaken. Like something like that is coming through very strong for me. Take it or leave it.
Yeah, I feel it too. Like I'm taking it. I think that's exactly it in a nutshell. And yeah, I think that's it.
It's like
I
it's
feel really
like
strongly
a
like
goddess
that.
doula, but you're not bringing babies into the world. You're bringing the opposite, which is the powerful freaking creation energy. You know,
Yeah,
like you could even do a
yeah, it
retreat one
is.
day and
That's
get all the
it.
goddesses together and like have them dress as their goddess. Like you could even have like a style guide for their goddess. Like you build it together. You know, like I just this is a really nice energy. Yeah.
It is. It is. It's it.
So we
I
just
think
wanted
that's
to
it.
turn you on. Are you turned on now?
I am so turned on right now. I loving it.
Okay. And the
Yeah.
really great thing is if you want to write, this would not only give you a chance to write, but it would it would create marketing for what you're doing. And you could repurpose this content and just create content around awakening and welcoming and announcing and proclaiming and reclaiming the goddess and what she's here for, you know?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I think that's really great. And I think that's the direction. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really have some fun with this. Like get your juices flowing with this,
Yeah.
okay? Put it in your body, put her wherever she
Yeah.
needs to go, okay? Like just get her in there and start looking at her and seeing what she's doing.
Yeah.
And maybe do yours
Okay.
first. I mean, do yours first, you know?
hmm
Do yours first.
Yeah, I
and
think that would be
give her a
good
new
too.
name.
I know when. What was that?
Oh, just like give
Broke up a
whatever
little bit.
version you awaken, like give her like her own name, you know, a new one.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. I believe in sacred names. That's very positive. And I think too because I'm in the midst of this too in my journey. And I mean, I've gone through it in the past, but I'm in the midst of it right now. And I think that's would be good content because I like content that is personal and vulnerable from the point of view of the person going through it. So that's inspiring. So
Could be amazing. Yeah. I love it. Okay, can we leave you there? That wasn't so bad, huh?
thank you. No, wasn't.
Wasn't so bad. Okay, thanks. And I know Annie has her hand up too. Let's sneak you in here, Annie. Come on, let's go, girl.
You can fit me in.
Well,
Probably be good too, because I'm
let's do it.
still really tired dealing with
That's okay.
sickness.
We'll take whatever low-hanging fruit we can get so that we can get you fed with some good energy juices yourself. So I've got your IG
Sounds
profile, your website. Where do you think you want to?
Let's look up the IG profile because I feel like that's more updated.
Okay, fantastic. And is your
And really just it's really just the messaging. Like I'm trying to really refine my messaging, growing my Instagram. I'm building out my coaching offer now, my 3-month container. So I'm kind of just want to get people ready for that. I mean, I've posted very limited recently, but I think the last couple of posts are more like where I'm trying to be speaking to that audience that I want to call in.
Okay, I'm not going to look at your title, and I'm going to see if I can. Let me just review for a second, guys.
So my story is actually very not updated because that was like one of my first posts and I just pinned it. But the hiking one is probably more, or like the one with
Let's play a game, you guys. Let's figure out what she sells by just looking at her thumbnails. Let's see. Choosing your own path isn't easy. Okay, maybe it's about path, not hustling. Okay, maybe it's business. Success means nothing. It's kind of more businessy. 4 things you do to connect with yourself. That's kind of intuitive. Want to get coached. Okay, now we know she's a coach. 3 things I'd learn about managing stress. Okay, maybe she's a stress coach. Here's a connecting with body. So maybe she's like a yoga instructor. Okay, let me see. Self-care. Maybe she's a self-love coach. Living in our head. Method. Mind, body, soul, self-care, mindset. Okay, how relevant is this?
This is not, all this older stuff is really just not.
Recreate this. This is relevant.
Okay.
This is what I want to see up front. I want to know what you're about in your first 3 posts that you pinned. Don't make me guess. Not that I'm just all you guys, like I'm just saying, like we don't want to guess, right? We want to kind of like know that right away. And it's kind of a fun thing to see if you could figure it out without looking at the title. This is a great post. Everything about this is great. Recreate this with whatever the vibe is currently, okay?
Okay. Yeah.
And then put it right up top.
I
like this here, but I almost want to see like 3 or 4 hashtags or words at the top, small. Like if it was like self-love, self-care, intuitively led. This is, how do you say it? Is it Bloom?
Bloom, yeah.
Bloom, yeah. So like 4 words, this is Bloom, right? Like get some clarity on your brand values, and like, do you have a unique master method? Like you had something here a little bit. Do you have a current one that you can tell me and inform me of right now?
No,
That's okay.
I
You can
haven't.
work on
Yeah.
that. And then if you were to pick 3 or 4 words that are just kind of like about what you do, like let's look at your title now.
Yeah.
Lifestyle design coach for high achievers. Okay. So it would be lifestyle, success, intuition, purpose, freedom. This is
Mhm.
this is Bloom, right?
Okay.
I'd love to
Yeah.
see that right up top, and then I'd love to see a post about it. Like why those words are what you're about. Okay?
Okay.
That up here would be great.
So that when they come to my Instagram, they can just see immediately, like, okay, this is what she's about, this
Immediately.
is what she does, like, da da da.
Immediately.
Yeah.
And then all the other content is okay if it's relevant. I do see that we're lacking some brand pillars. Like, let me show you guys something that I've been working on, just so you can get kind of like a feel for something that I'm currently okay, apparently it's not quick. Drive. Simplified. Okay, don't pay attention to the complexity of this because I've been at this for a minute, but this is social content structures for me right now.
Mhm.
So I've got all these different posts that I schedule out. Don't worry about that. We're just looking at this little thing on the left, okay? So I've got a pillar and a sub pillar. The pillar is basically part of a value of my offer that I'm trying to sell. Right now, I've got the Rich Intuition Society as my main offer. All of my energy and all of my time and all of my heart and all my everything is going into that right now. Okay. So, what are some of the things that are relevant to that offer? Intuitive edge in life and business is a value. I run my business and my life with my intuition, first and foremost. Right. So, I have a whole pillar on it, and I have a couple of different ideas that fall under that. Okay. Then the next one I have is building your intuitive empire. You guys know I love a good hustle. I love a good business. I love a good empire for good. I love all the things business. So I've got a couple things here that are all business. Okay. And then finally, I've got all the wealth and the money manifestation, like I like to say that as like manifesting money. And it's like the frequency hacks, the wealth, the vibe, the luxury. Like that's my other thing, right? There are different things that are in my offer, but those are the 3 people mostly care about. So I decided, how many things do I actually have to say in this category where I could streamline my conversation to be elements of this? So how many of you guys have heard me talk about, you all did, it was day 1. The gap is there to guide you, right? That's a primary value and belief system and tool that I use to close in on the life I want. That's my thing. So that's why I teach it to you. The next one is reducing and eliminating the time it takes to know and recognize and vet a genuine hit and go fast and make a decision. Why? Because we have one life to live here in this body, and we've got work to do. So if we're hesitating, the whole world is going to suffer. If we know, we got to go, like no time like the present, right? So I have content around that. That's a value, right? And then I've got another one. You guys have been seeing me play around with this. This has been fun. I've even gotten a little sexy with it. Who saw my post the other day about what was it? Manifestation, but make it spicy. Did you guys see that? Anyways, it's on my Instagram, but trust and let go of control. It's about saying, stop trying to control everything and instead be a receiver of what you're supposed to do and then lay fully into that, right? Let your body, let the gravity, let your desires, let your feel good tell you what the universe is trying to like lead you to. And I jokingly say, the daddy universe here. Whenever I talk about daddy universe, I'm doing it in this pillar, right? Finally, we've got building your vision and your business for your life, vision for your business and your life with that big thing that we did yesterday, top of mind, not backwards, right? So those are the values. And then you're getting obviously some of the stuff on business, right? I teach funnels, I teach audience matching, I teach going from a time for money model to like what we talked to Lauren about, right? So you see stuff like that here too. But the point is, what would really help is if you came up with these values. Like what we looked at, it was like what was it? It was lifestyle,
Lifestyle design, purpose, intuition,
purpose, intuition, freedom, and there was like one other thing,
freedom,
like, yeah, so
self-care.
self-care, right? So give me a couple of things that are your top of mind values in each of those categories. Don't just make one post about it. Make a whole week's worth of post about it. Or like if you're not posting every day, then have it be 4 or 5 posts at a time.
Mhm.
We can get whiplash by going back and forth and back and forth, back and forth. If you sit with something for a minute and kind of chew
Mm,
on it a couple different ways, you're going to get more of a response from people. They're going to remember to associate you with that thing. And then right when they're there, they'll start associating you with the new thing instead of just never associating you with anything. Right.
right.
So define these 4 or 5 things that you've said, and then think of like how many ideas, things that here's another thing, you guys, things you say all the time, the ways you always solve this, the things you're always doing to help with that, right? That like notice just who you are and how you handle and process these problems versus these solutions, right? And just come up with those 4 or 5 words, maybe 2 or 3 or 4 tops, things that are your highest arguments about, like points of conversation, points of benefit, and then create 4 or 5 posts for each. And you know what? This is the best part. Guess what you get to do after that? You repost
Start
them.
over.
You just repost them. You repost them with the new graphic,
Okay.
post it with a new flair on the caption. But that's why I have this document, because let me show you
Mhm.
what I'm doing. And you don't, like I said, you don't have to be as tricky as me. I'm a Virgo and a generator. So please just forgive.
I'm also a Virgo, so I hear you. I like the spreadsheet.
Yeah. So here I've got, and don't worry about like all the different kind of posts. That's something else that is more specific that we don't have to talk about. But what do I have here? So what I've done is I've put the caption for this post right here. And then I put a link to where I dropped the creative into a Google Drive folder. I'm sorry, it's not very big. Hold on. Well, anyways, size matters, but that's okay. Let's see. So this is a caption. I've got long form post inspo, which I got from ChatGPT, and then I made a post. Okay, so here's the entire post that I made with the hashtags. And then depending on what this post is, it should have a link for creative. Oh, maybe I didn't put the link yet. But anyways, most of these have a link so that if I go click this link right now and open it, it takes me to my Google Drive where I've dropped in this video that I posted on TikTok. So now I can download it and repost it in like 2 months. So I can make all of my content and just tweak and update things that feel right, but like literally have the exact same content over and over and over. You guys think that's like not a good thing to do? It's actually the best thing you could do. It's the absolute best thing, which is great because it's easier
Yeah,
than
repetition
like
is.
insightful for the rest of your life. Like be a broken
Mhm.
record. People will not hear what you're trying to tell them until you've done it 10 times. So like this is a really good opportunity for all you content people out there who are thinking about content to just decide a few things that you want to, you'll die on the top of that hill, right? That's the hill you'll die on, right? That's
Yeah.
it. That is it for me. Decide how many of those you have and, make it anywhere between 3 big ideas with maybe 2 or 3 or 4 little ideas within each of those little different
So
ways to enjoy it. Yeah.
can I ask you like so I just finished outlining my coaching program, so now I have a lot more clear in my mind like what are the
What you're
steps that
going
I'm
to
actually
sell.
wanting to take people through, right? So would you say like I kind of have like 3 phases? Like the first is like all about like, getting clear on your values, your purpose, like, what you're here to do,
Yes.
like slowing
Yeah.
down, mindfulness, all that. Second phase is like self-care, you know,
Yeah.
removing any blocks that are in the way. And then the third phase is like taking aligned action, intuition, all that, and
So
stepping into that
let's talk
purpose. So
about the
are
first one. What's the first one?
each, okay. First one is slowing down, like implementing mindful rituals. getting clear on your purpose and values and your superpowers, let's say.
But what was the first word that the category of the first one?
The first one is, I
Self-care,
guess,
did you say?
uncovering your like values and purpose, let's say.
Values and purpose. Okay. And then you named like 3 things just now, didn't you?
Right. Like mindfulness, slowing down,
Those are your
becoming
pillars.
aware. So those
Make
are my, so if I were to say, like, I'm creating 5 pieces of content on, let's say, phase 1, and then I'm doing a post on like each of those things, like how to connect with your values, like how to get clear on your purpose, like how to,
yes.
or would you say even more so, like where you're really just diving deep onto like one specific topic as far as like slowing down and connecting with your values, let's say?
So I would choose whatever is going to get you those 3 pillars, and let's say 2 to 4, 5 if you really want conversations within that one pillar of purpose or self-care, the one we're talking about, right?
Yeah, the first
So
phase, yeah.
that's what I would do. I mean, I might even think about it lesson to lesson. What I want to show you guys is what I've been doing on mine. Okay, so I've got some posts here that are all Daddy Universe posts. It's all that pillar where I said trust, like stop trying to control everything. You know, like I actually had in my personal life something come up where I thought I was responsible to kind of like, I'm not gonna get into it. It's a dating thing, okay? But like, just hear me out. Like, I was thinking like it was up to me to like protect the situation from myself, you know? And then finally I was like, my body wants in. Like, I want in, and I don't care what I know about my future. Like, if this is not I'm gonna follow where my gravity is moving me, regardless of being a future predictor and knowing something else. Like, I'm just gonna lean in. And it like taught me, I started seeing all these signs and everything, and spirit was just telling me, like, yeah, stop trying to control everything. You're going through angst, like sitting here going, don't give into this, don't give into this. And they're like, stop, you know, just like let go. And it's like, that's what I was also trying to manifest in my business, was that clarity. And so of course it mirrors somewhere else in my life where I can kind of get it. So I started making content on this. And so I've done it here where I said, the universe is trying to give you what you want. Right. So I made that, I put it on TikTok and I put it here. And then I made a reel with a caption that says, you're not meant to control the river. You're meant to trust it. Right. And then I have this post, which is
Yeah.
a carousel. What if you following your desire, even when it makes no sense, was the exact way to get what you want? Right. That's a carousel.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had a little fun with it here. And I said, Daddy Universe already said, yes, stop overriding it. Because I said it in one of my videos and it was kind of fun. People liked it, like the Daddy Universe. And then I took it up a notch. And I even played around and said manifestation, but make it spicy. Let Daddy Universe make the first move. You just be the receiver, the femme, the one that moves when the universe moves to tell you where to go, right? And this is a fun, spicy post, you know? So
Yeah.
I'm on the same subject. I'm on the same
Okay.
sub pillar. I'm on the exact sub pillar in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these posts. And then when
The
I'm
same
done,
lesson.
yeah, and actually this one was also the same one. Same one. I have a combination of reels, a combination of long form posts, a combination of like faceless reels, carousels. I stay with it and I sort of talk about that same sub pillar in a number of different ways that are all things that I would just say about it. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And then I save this caption and I save this creative. And next time I go to post this, I could post this exact one, or maybe I switch out the river or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Whatever I'm in the mood for. Right.
Okay.
So it's really not, it's really that easy. You just want to focus on what values are aligned with what I want to sell. How do I start talking about those values? Slow it down a little bit, but don't overcomplicate it. Don't make so many things. Don't give them whiplash, but slow it down. Talk about one little piece of that for 4 or 5 different posts. And you can vary it just by it being a reel or a carousel or
right. The
one
way
image,
that it
right?
looks. Yeah.
Sometimes even the way it looks just varies it, right? And then move on to the next sub pillar. And what I would do is stay with that same pillar throughout. Or if you have a little nuance that's a little bit different, that is like for example, if you have the first pillar, which is purpose, right? The first
Mm-hmm.
pillar, and then
Yeah.
the sub purpose is 4 or 5 different things. I would rotate through all of these pieces of content in like a month's time and get everybody aware that you are the purpose girl, right? And just when they know that, I would be like, boom, freedom. Or like, what's the next thing, right? Self-care or whatever. And then
Yeah.
start like leading the charge there, right? Because the idea is to hijack their mind in and put in there what you want them to know about you. And what you want them to know about you is anything that is in alignment with what you sell so that they know what your offers are about, but more importantly, what you're about as the leader of that offer.
Gotcha.
That help you?
Really good. Yeah, so good.
Yeah,
Thank you,
and
Tana.
you don't have to complicate it and make a weird Excel like me. It's just whatever your version is of like keeping it so that you could repurpose it. Because once you go through this once, you only have to change anything if your pillars change.
Right.
And
That's
that's
amazing.
okay to do too. That's okay to do too. But you'll
Yeah.
find little tweaks more than overhauls.
And you would say like more focus on that first main pillar of your what you teach more so than the other two, right? Because that's kind of where people are starting
Yeah, I could say that.
in
But
a way, or the
doesn't
first two, let's say.
honestly, it doesn't matter. I would do it
It doesn't matter.
intuitively. I would do it intuitively. I would stick
Okay.
with one pillar and go through all the sub pillars first.
Hmm.
Unless I was dropping an offer that aligned with something else, then I would like
Just kind of,
hurry up and go
yeah.
over there or something. So, but I would do that all intuitively as far as like which one to start with or whatever. That is being the intuitive CEO. I'm not doing strategy and structure to forsake my intuition. So I can have a plan, but I'm ready to go with what I feel.
Right. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
That resonates. Yeah.
Okay. Does that help?
Yay. Okay. Yes,
All
so
right.
much. Thank you, Tana.
We went 15 minutes over, you guys. I'm sorry, even over the 90 minutes. I apologize. I apologize. Let me go. You are so welcome. Let me just remove our spotlights. There we go. Okay, y'all. So I hope that was helpful. If you guys have any additional questions, drop it in the Facebook somewhere. And I guess I have to like turn on approval for posts. Y'all, it's been a minute since I've been on Facebook. I'm sorry if I'm trying to find all the buttons, but you can post in there or you can DM me even if you want, if you have questions. And maybe if there's any follow-up questions you had about any of today's conversation, I can address it again tomorrow. Tomorrow is our Lux party, which just basically means we're gonna have some expression of what feels fancy to us, and we're going to learn about changing our state to change how we solve problems, how we show up, how we speak, how we're offering, how we're doing our leadership, how we're doing our prices, how we're doing our brands, how we're doing our socials. We're going to change everything based on just kind of changing our state. Okay. So real quick before we go, does anybody have any questions about something we went over today that's like a quick little thing I can answer? That's easier than going into the Facebook group. Was that helpful for you guys? Did you guys get enough out of that? Okay, I feel like we kind of did a world tour around a few different types of things, so that was good. Okay, so I'm gonna just read the comments real quick. Okay, great. So I'm gonna take a minute to read the comments, but you guys are welcome to pop off, and I will see you tomorrow. Okay. Hugs and kisses. Bye.